Hey everybody, this is Rob. I am coming at you from outside, a beautiful day. I wanted to continue with my story, and today I'll talk a little bit about what it was like and why I drank. And truth be told, man, I'm just finding out why I drank right now as I'm in recovery. I was 11 years old when I had my first drink. Me and a friend went to the canal and we bought a case of 24, which makes us clearly overachievers. You know, you're 11 years old, you think you can drink 24 beer. I didn't want to drink. The only thing I wanted to do was to impress this guy. He was cool. He's the type of guy that I wanted to be, you know, good looking, popular, hockey player. And I just wanted to be like him. I wanted him to accept me. And we didn't like the taste. Well, I didn't like the taste, and I ended up pouring mine out. After that, we never really hung out together much. And that was pretty much the end of it. I didn't drink again until I was about 13. And 13, you know, you go into high school. I went to high school when I was 12 years old. At 12 years old, you don't have an identity. You don't even know who you are. Here I was, this short, skinny kid with bad hair and glasses. And nobody wanted to hang out with me. You know, I mean, I didn't fit in. I didn't fit into any social mold or anything. So what I did was I found a crew that drank. And that's what I would do. I would buy record albums, and I would get invited to parties, and I would drink. I found a group. I found a crew. And I should have known by then that I was already a blackout drinker. You know, I'd wake up with penises drawn on my forehead and little scars. And, you know, back then we didn't have Sharpies. We had these big, black, thick markers. It was a pain in the ass to erase and to clean off your face the next morning. You can't go home with, like, a penis on your head. You know, mom will know something's up. And I was able to hide it from mom pretty well. And, you know, it was cool, man. I was accepted. I had found it. I had gotten there. This was my crew. And until it wasn't anymore. And then, flash forward to 17, I got out of that awkward stage, and I grew into myself. And I went to my first gay bar. And I got more attention than I ever thought I would get in my life. Everybody wanted to talk to me. Everybody wanted to know me. And I got into a crowd, and I don't want to say it's a bad crowd. Well, it might have been a bad crowd. But I got into a crowd that were drinking a lot and doing a lot of drugs. And here I was, this young buck with a Justin Bieber type body. Good looking, I guess. No, I was good looking. And I was exploited. People took advantage of me, and I let it happen. You know, all I wanted was this acceptance. All I wanted was the attention, and I would do anything and everything for it. And I did. I did anything that was asked of me. And a lot of these things don't make me proud, but I did them. You know, I was getting trips and gifts and booze and drugs. I was being invited to some of the coolest parties with some of the coolest people. Some of the wealthiest people in Montreal, and I just let it happen. You know, the things that were done to me and the things that I allowed to be done to me are kind of shameful. You know, I was used, and I was exploited, and I was objectified, and it was a sad time. You know, I don't know if I was drinking now to fit in, to be accepted, or to escape the way I was feeling. Because, you know, you don't feel good about what was happening. But I was getting all the alcohol I wanted, all the drugs I wanted, and I was being accepted. I was getting attention, like VIP, stupid amounts of attention. And that went on for probably about 2 decades. And every time I would, you know, end a relationship, I would go downhill. So during my relationships, I was good. I would drink a lot, but not too many drugs. And then when the relationship was over, I would just go downhill. I didn't know how to be alone. I didn't have an identity. You know, I was 17 years old, and all of this was going on around me. I never had time to figure out who I was. So I never took that time. I never took the time to figure it out. I just went with the flow. And then I met somebody, and it was great. It was wonderful even. We used a lot of drugs, a lot of alcohol. And then when he left me, my world fell apart, and I didn't know how to go on. I didn't know how to live. You know, I had always been with somebody, and here I was with nobody. I was alone, and alone was the worst place I could possibly find myself. You know, I started to drink so badly, so heavily, and using so many drugs. I would lay in bed for weeks and pissing myself and throwing up on my bed, and I would just lay there. I wasn't eating. I had no heat, electricity. I was confined to one room, and all I wanted to do was escape. I just wanted to escape. I was no longer looking for that attention. I didn't want that acceptance. I didn't want to fit in. I just wanted to escape. I wanted to escape everything that I was feeling. I no longer wanted to feel. I wanted to be numb. Um, it's strange how I started wanting to fit in and wanting to be this cool kid, and ending wanting to escape and not wanting to be with anybody, just isolating. And that went on for almost a year of binging and laying in bed and sulking and victimizing myself. And eventually I ended up losing everything and being homeless, and that's another part of the story. But I always tell people that it felt like a tsunami. Everybody on the hilltop could see it coming, but you standing alone on the beach, you're completely unaware. The only time that you realize what's going on is when it's barreling down on you and you get swept up into it. And by the time you're swept up into it, I mean, you have nowhere to go. You cling to something, to anything, to try to save your life. And if you do come out alive, you're a miracle. So we addicts, it's all the same ship, just different boats. And we'll all drown if we don't realize that we already know how to swim. We're just waiting for somebody to reteach us how. So God bless all of you, and I'll continue my story. Okay? Thanks.